Hi, welcome to Mom Cooks and Gardens. This morning we're going to go up to the garden and do some fall cleanup. We're going to try and remove all the leaves, get the mulch down to start a new mulch pile. We're going to distribute the mulch that we have from last year over the garden beds. And if we're lucky, we'll do some of the cleanup of the waste products that we want to get off the property. Then tomorrow we're going to look at putting in our fence posts to keep the groundhogs at bay.
Overview of what things are looking like here in end of first week of I think it's Pearl Harbor Day today. Yeah, I always try to remember those things. All right, so I'm gonna get you your power. So in the meantime, what are the flags, love?
Marking perennials and questionable plants. They produce. We're gonna hang on and see.
Cool.
Over there on that flag, like there's an oregano there. There's an oregano there. They're gonna come back. My artichokes, I gotta cut them back to the ground, but I need to know where they are so that I don't entirely mulch them, or if I cover them with mulch for the winter to protect them, in the spring I can find them to uncover them so they can get started.
Should I get you a magic marker to number the flags or anything like that?
I was going to get a magic marker and write on them, but I figured that is not pressing today. That's something I could do in a morning before work if the weather was nice and I thought, hey, I should go out there and look around.
Okay.
I just don't want to waste time. I got 2 days to get this cleaned up.
I understand.
So I want to get all this debris that has fallen, all these dead leaves and twigs and walnuts. I want to get all these leaves that have encroached and along the fence line. I want to get them all mulched and into a pile for next year's compost.
Okay.
Right now I'm ripping out the snapdragons.
And are the snapdragons, are they invasive? You planted those, right?
Right. They are prolific reseeders. Often the seedlings that come about the second year aren't true to the mother plants. They're usually spindlier and less showy. They are annuals. So, eventually these guys are going to get got by the frost. What am I waiting for? There's no flowers on them. I'm just going to pull them out now.
Okay.
Now those over there, they're still got flowers. I'm going to leave them.
Okay.
Because they're pretty to look at.
Flowers in December, who can complain?
Right? Right?
All right. And then can you walk me through where the fence is going to go? Just like, I'm not trying to sound dumb.
So we're going to start and we're going to set up a perimeter around this 20 by 20 garden. So we're going to put like a fence post there.
Okay.
We're probably going to put one right here. Like we'll probably put 4 posts along this line.
So the square garden gets it first.
Right. So it's going to start that main walkway is going to get a gate at each end.
Okay.
So then literally we're going to wrap it around the garden. And probably what will happen is we'll move these out a little just so that we get a nice clean true line where the yard felt ends the garden.
Okay.
Because we want as much usable plant space. And these were just mapping it out.
Let me ask you a question. Should we quit using these on the perimeter and repurpose them if the fence is there?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I might decide to do that. Like, let's say we put up the fence and through the course of the year we're like, yeah, this isn't necessary anymore. Then I might pull these up and use them to line over there.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right. But right now, I think they'll be a good deterrent. Like the groundhog could probably walk up to the fence and be like, hey, I might be able to dig under this.
That's more wood than he can chuck?
Yeah. More wood than he can chuck. But these might keep him from finding the bottom of the fence, and the felt is keeping him from finding an in.
I like it. You sold me.
And the fence is going to go on the inside of the logs. The logs are going to be on the outside.
Right. Yeah, you sold me.
Yeah. So that's what we're going for this year. Any fence that we have left over, we're going to start, because you can see that free fence.
The deer fence, yeah.
It's gone. It is disintegrated. Now I am going to repurpose it
That's
a
hilarious.
third time? A
The
fourth time?
deer fence came from Connecticut on a truck. That brown F-250 down there. So that she's getting use out of. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, last year it held up for 3/4 of the summer. Probably headed into October is when we started having branches come down and it's disintegrated.
Right.
But that'll be fine to use as a leaf corral.
Okay.
I mean, we're not keeping anything out. It's just keeping the leaves from blowing around. So that's
Right,
what
right.
it is.
I'm all for it.
But I do think that needs to be replaced by some of this metal fencing.
Okay.
And we might go for a cheaper version. Like we might go for chicken wire versus that welded fence that's so much more expensive.
Sure.
Now, I personally think if we went with welded fencing, we can repurpose it when we get the split rail in.
Uh-huh.
And basically tack it to the split rail.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep the smaller critters out. The split rail keeps the deer out. I don't know.
Pretty cool.
And maybe we don't. Like we honestly, when it comes to property lines,
Yeah, we're not talking about that today.
do we want to invest in putting a split rail there because it may or may not be our property?
Right.
And a welded fence could come down very easily.
Right. And what about this the triangle of artichokes?
Okay, so I'm rethinking my spacing on the artichokes. They can grow 36 inches wide. I think that back row is a little close and I lost one. So what I might do is spread out those two. I want to bring our cherry tree from down there.
Okay.
And I want to replant that over here in that bed.
Okay.
But I bought a peach.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah, I bought a peach.
I like
and I'm going to put the
peaches.
peach in the center of this triangle bed.
Oh.
He's going to peaches get big, but they're very open and they don't hinder light. So they're going to be like an upper story.
Uh-huh.
And then the artichokes get like 4 to 5 feet tall and they're all around it.
Sounds
I mean, it might
good.
look a little weird the first couple of years.
I don't care. Look. How could
Yeah.
you have a large margin of error when you have those vehicles sitting down there?
But eventually the peach tree will get to be a decent size. And these will be the understory.
That's awesome.
The artichokes might not always live in this bed too. I was just thinking, what can I plant large and perennial where I don't have to think about this till I get this under control? And so I thought, artichokes are perennial. They last for 4 years. I can leave these alone, let them run their course, and in 4 years dig them up and do something entirely different when I have time. But then I can put the artichokes other places in the yard.
That's come front of those flower heads?
Yeah.
And you just deadheaded them there?
I just ripped them out.
Are they going to grow there again or no?
They may reseed.
Okay.
But then I'll have to pull them out. I don't want them there this year.
Should we give them to a different gardener perhaps?
I have buckets of come from flowers.
Okay. Okay. Buckets. And if we could get if we can get this thing unclogged and running, you would eventually like to run all this stuff through and use it as walking path?
I would.
Okay. But not this weekend? You don't have time, right?
I don't think I'm going to make it that far.
Okay.
I mean, if this thing were working, then yeah, maybe next time I have time off.
Okay, which would be what midweek, right?
But
okay.
it's supposed to rain, and it's supposed to be in the 50s and 60s.
Well,
so right now I'm finding, if you dig down here,
yeah.
I just pulled out some tomatoes, and you could see what was at the base of the tomatoes.
That's ice, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got ice up here, and there's no digging in the ground, but next week, if it's 55 or 60, that's the perfect time to transplant those fruit trees.
Okay.
Because I'll be able to dig the soil. They're dormant. I'll be able to dig. So that's what I'm banking on doing with the next 2 days. That's why I want this ready.
Yeah, I get it. If you're wondering why I had the orbital sander in my hand, it was the smallest appliance I had to test if we were getting power from the extension cord, so I'm going to run up here.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot less leaves than I thought there were, but they're all over the place.
Hey, I have a dumb question for you.
What?
This is like a 2-3 year project. Would you want an outlet up here in the future?
Yeah.
You didn't really need
Yeah.
to think about that.
Hey, guess what I was dreaming about? You know how you said we should get some more of these and make more arches and stuff?
Yeah.
What I was thinking was, wouldn't it be cool to buy one? Right?
Yeah.
And cut it here to make 2. Right?
Split it down the middle to increase it. Well, you can
To
buy
give
them in
2.
different sizes.
Okay. But I was thinking
Okay.
of,
I
wouldn't
think
it
you
be
can.
cool to put a trellis like maybe move these over a little and put one going this way?
Yeah.
Because that would give beans and squash.
That's a variation of what I was trying to ask you about the other day. And I mustn't have been verbalizing it very well, because I think we should put them in here, and I think we should try to, if there's a flat, there's a couple, the stairs coming up the hill they're kind of like terraces.
Well, yeah, I know. And I thought about that too. but
We
I
could put
didn't-
them
I
here.
wanted- Well, I wanted to put one here at the entrance. I thought would be really cool. That needs to be replaced by a single. I would love one right here
Okay.
at the entrance of the garden.
Yeah.
Because what it would allow me to do is maybe plant some pretty roses and hyacinth bean, and it would be really beautiful.
Right.
But I just, the path, the angle of the path, and the angle of this, it's just going to be really hard.
Well,
But I mean, I suppose here would be the place to do it,
sure.
on the top step. Because then it looks right for this. And that's really what's going to happen.
Your beehive invitation
Yeah, I
thing
know,
is.
It died. It died. I didn't take it in the first year like I should have, and last year I was like, it's too far gone, and I just never cleaned it up.
So what about over here? What's your eventual plan for this? This was just so you know, as a viewer, I'll try to splice in. This was completely overgrown, and when she started moving in, she put her money where her mouth is, and she paid to have this cleared. And then after work, I would sit here and we seeded it with grass to outcompete weeds, correct? And then she would keep pulling the wisteria and trumper.
And stabilize the hill.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want all this dirt washing down into the driveway, and we didn't want weeds coming up. So we planted grass to like hold down the hill, which it has done a good job.
Except for right here, for whatever
And
reason.
right behind you.
And right behind me.
Yeah.
That's new. That had grass on it as recently as this summer. We had a horrible drought, though. Do you think that could have been the?
No, both of these spots were here last spring.
They were? Okay.
So I wanted to turn this into a low-growing wildflower meadow,
Yeah.
and I dumped 2 bags of low-growth wildflower seeds here. Nothing took.
Wow.
And I mean, honestly, you're supposed to do it on barren soil, but we're working on a hill where every rainfall washes everything downhill.
It does?
Now, I think if we put a tarp here and killed the grass, and then roughened it up, or laid the seeds down and threw an inch of topsoil down, or a ½ inch of topsoil, we might be able to get it to take. But it's just like, do we want to kill a gigantic rectangle of grass in hopes that's going to take?
Do you know what my wish, if I was in charge of this, would be? I'd want to put 2 rows of, we keep them low, fruit trees here, and I'll explain my logic, so that they don't get so tall here that they start to compete with for the sun, the afternoon sun. Behind me is to the west.
What kind of trees?
Just a variety, just plums, peaches, pears, apples.
You know I can't do that.
Why not?
It's got to be the same.
What? But won't they help pollinate each other, or it doesn't work that way? So tigers and bears can't have babies?
Right.
All right, or plums. All right, well then we get a couple. I like plums. I like... Listen, me eating fruit's not a bad thing.
This hill is hard. We've tried to grow trees on this hill before. It gets baked in the sun. It's solid clay. This hill is hard. It's really suited to wildflowers that need poor soil, full sun, and thrive in drought conditions. The idea of an orchard would be nice, but if you want to be the one to come out and water it twice a day,
A cup of coffee in the morning and a beer at night. I'll do it. I did the grass.
it's a thought, but you know,
Just 2 rows.
Fruit trees are $60 a pop.
Okay.
If you fail, you've lost like $500. Like it's a
Okay.
big deal.
The other challenge, let's see if we could get them a little cheaper.
Yeah.
And then, but then for here, maybe we just leave it a grass, and then I would like to see,
Well, we're gonna put in wildflowers there.
but no, I mean here, I would like to see us put, go to, DeMayo's over in, Hamilton, New Jersey, and get like some cranberries and blueberries and put 2 more rows here.
Well, blueberries get too big.
Too big for...
What you're talking.
Okay.
And our soil's really not suited for them. Which means an entire amendment, and this stuff is hard to dig in. You're dealing with a slope. We're going to see how this goes into next year with our blueberries that we spent a lot of money and amendment on.
Yeah.
And we're going to see if they made it a second year. As far as cranberries really aren't bushes. They're ground cover. They're a lot like that vinca vine.
Okay.
They grow in like single strands and they interlock and become like a network web. But they're very spindly.
What else could we put here towards the top? Something that creates something edible. No?
Strawberries. It's about the only thing.
I'm down with that. I never really appreciated strawberries till you started growing them.
Well, think about it, but I got so many other things that I'm trying to get a handle on.
I'm willing to help if...
No. I have so many things that I got to get a handle on.
Oh, in other words, I'm going to be helping you with those things.
I'm just saying, I don't have the mental energy to start another project. I gotta get this under control.
I gotcha. Okay.
I want to see this in my lifetime.
Your lifetime?
Yeah.
How long are you going to live for?
I don't know. But I want this to be a beautiful mix of vegetables and flowers that are successful. I want it to be pretty and I want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the problem is right now I'm just learning how to grow vegetables. I have bare spots. I need to like do more of a design in the garden than I got a lot of work.
Should we fence around this too?
No.
No?
They don't eat this.
What about if Fat Boy doesn't eat this?
No.
Okay.
That's why I planted this.
He's adorable, but he's a son of a gun.
The grass wasn't growing up here. It was very like choppy, like this is.
Yeah.
And so I decided to put a row of, daylilies and echinacea that will just put a huge swath of green down it. Now I can widen the border. Like you see how the daylilies are here? I could put a second row where I put them off center, where 1, 1, and 1 toward the front.
Right.
And I could widen the border like that.
What about
But I just feel like we're getting further and further down the hill. Like we don't want to mow this.
No, I know I don't.
So
but we do have a mower.
I feel like the wildflowers are the way to go if we can figure out how to do it. We might have to just have a leap of faith and like put a huge tarp down, kill it, lay down the seed, sprinkle some topsoil on top, and water it every day for 7 days. Once they start sprouting, we're in. But see, last winter, they said plant them in the winter, and they lay in the soil dormant, and then as spring warms up and the rains come, then they start sprouting. Well, by the time spring came, those seeds blew away.
Gotcha.
So I think it's really I think the trick here is going to be a springtime planting.
Okay.
Now, that would mean this would have to be